believed by anyone on the ground. Let me say that again. No one on the ground believes that Sanjay Roy was the only person behind the Abhaya case, particularly because the prosecution has been unable to establish a motive. So the question is, who are the people who are being shielded if Sanjay Roy is indeed a scapegoat? And if he is not, why did he do it? Why was there a delay in filing an FIR? What was the reason for the sluggish pace of activities on part of the Arjikar hospital, the police, and indeed the West Bengal government? So all these questions remain unanswered. We'll soon be talking to the different parties to the case. We'll be talking to the agitators. We'll also try to reach out to the family once again. We'll try to go to the lawyers as well. And we'll try to flesh out their next steps as they move towards justice and closure.
Right, Deepak, thank you for bringing us those details. Stay on with us at this given point. But let me take our viewers through some of the details we have, in fact, being able to access with regards to this very case and the verdict that's been pronounced. Very firstly, the court has relied on forensic evidence which has pointed to Sanjay Roy's involvement. His DNA was found. In fact, remember the initial investigation, the preliminary reports had revealed a Bluetooth device of his which was lying right next to the body which they had retrieved and recovered from the very crime site. But now the verdict has been pronounced relying on the DNA and the forensic evidence that has been presented to the court. That is number one. Number two, very important point that we are learning is that the sentence hearing is to take place on Monday. That is the 20th of January is what we understand at this given point. Again, what we are also learning from the court of law, or rather the Sealdah district court itself, is even as of today, while the verdict was being pronounced, Sanjay Roy has come out to shout out in the court and say that I am innocent and that he is not guilty, which again raises a number of questions with regards to who else was involved. Again, like our guest, Dr. Jha, has again and again, said that it is a case of, again, these are words I'm quoting, wherein he has called it an institutional murder. He's called it a state-sponsored murder, but again, state-sponsored murder is something that we aren't looking at this given point. But yes, when we do speak about the very investigation, there is word around on the ground that there are discrepancies and gaps in the very investigation that's taken place. Deepak, I will come back to you with regards to this. What we are learning is that forensic evidence is what the court has relied on to present their very verdict today. Again, Sanjay Roy, even as of today, has claimed that he is innocent. And even earlier, let me mention this to our viewers and just to re-jog their memories back to the day when Sanjay Roy had come out to say, it isn't me who's committed this crime, but I am being used as a scapegoat in this entire case. Any particular information on that front, Deepak?
So on that front, see, the first thing that I'd like to say is that if you hear the victims' parents, they believe that the motive was not in fact to hide a rape case. They believe that the real reason that Abhaya was neutralized was to hide a larger scandal. They claim that there is a concerted conspiracy, there's a corruption behind saline fluid sales here in Kolkata, and they recall a number of cases where people have died due to these, shall we say, bad saline fluids. So at this very moment, all that has been ignored by the court or the prosecution. It's only the agitators, the people who force the government to relook the whole case. It's their opinion again. And let me be clear, these were the very people who said all of this that the forensic labs have revealed. They've been saying this since day one. So, as of now, a lot of discrepancies, a lot of questions that remain unanswered. Sanjay Roy says that he's not guilty. One would actually expect, in a lot of cases, the convict will always maintain innocence. But even if he is guilty, there are other people at large at the moment. And there is no conversation about who those people are. Who are these people who are so powerful as to bend an entire judicial process, a state apparatus to their will? And who are they connected to? These questions remain unanswered at the moment.
Absolutely, Deepak. You very rightly mentioned when you say that, you know, any convict, or rather I would say most convicts do plead innocent even after they are declared to be guilty. That is usually how things in fact unfold in these matters. But you know, going back to the matter of this entire saline, you know, the larger issue which even Abhaya's parents, Tilottama's parents had brought up, that they don't know what exactly happened on 9th of August. Initially, the reports that their daughter had passed away was kept away from them. The FIR wasn't lodged for 14 hours, and there is a bigger conspiracy at place. One now which has come to the fore, that it is with regards to use of maybe expired saline fluids, the IV fluids that we have gotten to know in the later stages of this very case. But you know, that very particular day, 14 hours, no FIR for a murder that's been this brutal, that itself was shocking. Then again, the way this body was in fact, you know, in a hurry, in a haste, it was taken to the burning ghat there, and with VIP treatment, it was in fact, you know, the last rites were performed at the very ghat. Again, we see a political involvement at that particular time as well. These are very important, crucial points that we are in fact taking our audiences back to. Deepak, take us a little through that very part as well, where, you know, now we see politics has in fact erupted, with claims being made that at this given point there's a possibility both political parties are in a mudslinging contest against each other, but there is something they have to hide at the end of the day, which nobody knows.
Of course. So the parents revealed that Abhaya had probably come to understand the larger conspiracy behind the sale of these expired IV fluids, and she was
Deepak,
silenced.
I'm going to interrupt you there. I'm
the
extremely
people
sorry,
who
but let's quickly just listen into Shukanta Majumdar from the BJP. What exactly is he saying? He's speaking in Bengali, and I'll take you through what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen.
कोर्ट में सीबीआई की जो लॉयर थे, एडवोकेट थे, उन्होंने भी वही बात रखी, एक से ज़्यादा बार रखी, तो वो दर्शाता है कि अगर वो छेड़छाड़ नहीं हुआ होता तो और भी कुछ हो सकता था। हम चाहेंगे कि सबसे ज़्यादा जो पनिशमेंट है वो पनिशमेंट उनको मिले, और ये आरजीकर एक ऐसा कांड है जो पूरे बंगाल में सरफेस में ले आया कि बंगाल की स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्था कितनी बुरी हालत में है।
लेकिन अब तो ये क्लैरिटी हो गई है दादा कि जिस तरीके से मर्डर हुआ, पहले असॉल्ट किया गया, उसके बाद मर्डर किया गया, रेप किया गया और मर्डर किया गया, लेकिन पहले स्थितियां कुछ अलग थी, कुछ अलग अलग स्टेटमेंट निकल कर आ रहे थे, तो उसको कैसे देखते हैं? देखिए,
हर इन्वेस्टिगेशन निर्भर करता है प्रूफ के ऊपर, और बार बार ये चीज़ सामने आई हमारी कि जो 5 दिन कलकत्ता पुलिस के हाथ में इन्वेस्टिगेशन था, उस समय क्या हुआ किसी को पता नहीं। तो जितना प्रूफ मिला, तो उस प्रूफ के वजह से ये संजय राय जो है वो कन्विक्टेड हुए हैं। संजय राय बहुत बार कैमरे के सामने बोल चुके हैं कि मुझे फंसाया जा रहा है, राजीव कुमार उनके उसके खिलाफ षड्यंत्र कर रहा है, कॉन्स्पिरेसी कर रहा है। तो कोर्ट के ऊपर हमें आसरा है। हम तो चाहते हैं कि कोर्ट ऐसा निर्देश करे कि इसमें भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो कि कौन उसे मुंह खोलने के लिए मना किया था, क्या कर था, ये सारी चीज़ों की। देखो, এর আগেও সঞ্জয় রায় বারবার বলেছে যে আমাকে ভাসানো হয়েছে, এবং সে রাজীব কুমারের নাম নিয়েছিল এর আগে একাধিকবার, আজকেও সে বলেছে। আমরা চাইবো যে কোর্ট নির্দেশ দিক তদন্তকারী সংস্থাকে সেই অ্যাঙ্গেলটা খতিয়ে দেখার জন্য। এবার তো কোর্টের উপর নির্ভর করবে, তদন্তকারী সংস্থা তো নিজে খুঁজে সব করতে পারবে না, বা করার এখতিয়ারও নেই তাদের। তো স্বাভাবিকভাবে কোর্ট যদি রায় দেয়, তাহলে রায়ের মধ্যে যদি সেটা লেখা থাকে, তাহলে তদন্তকারী সংস্থা সেই বিষয়টিও খতিয়ে দেখবে। রাজীব কুমার একটা
You know, right now, let me quickly take you through what exactly has been said by Shukanta Majumdar, at least the part where he's spoken in Bengali. He's saying that Sanjay Roy has yet again come out to claim innocence, and he has said that he's not guilty, and he has named Rajiv Kumar yet again. So now, BJP's Shukanta Majumdar is saying that the court should give the permission to the investigative agencies to look into that very angle, look into why Rajiv Kumar's name has been taken so many times by this very convicted criminal Sanjay Roy, as has been as has been pronounced by the court, and that is one angle that needs to be looked into in depth. That is what Shukanta Majumdar had to say on the very matter. Deepak, stay with us. We'll come back to you. But right now, joining me on the broadcast is also Shamim Ahmed, advocate of the Calcutta High Court. Mr. Ahmed, thank you for joining us, and I also see we have been joined by Barkha Tehran as well at this given point, author and activist. Thank you so much, ma'am, for also speaking to us at News9. Mr. Ahmed, I would want to come to you first. Firstly, before getting into the controversies around this very case, let me also understand the legalities involved in this very matter. And the sentence hearing has been scheduled for Monday. Help us understand, because the judge has said the minimum sentence here would be a life imprisonment, and a maximum one would be a death penalty. Given the brutality and the nature of this case, what would your experience say? What might the court in fact sentence Sanjay Roy with?
See, I don't believe in capital punishment. So far, my opinion is concerned. It depends on the judge. But this judgment, as has been delivered today, is based on the evidences what has been gathered by the investigating agency, that is CBI, as of now. Based on those evidences, has found guilty. Now the punishment is yet to be declared. Now this whoever is the accused, now guilty, has right to prefer an appeal. So many things is going to happen in future days. So we have to wait for that. This is first thing. Now that another part of this, that if CBI continues with the investigation, as Sukhanto Majumdar was saying, that they need the direction of the court. So far, my knowledge goes, for the purpose of investigation, no order is required. If there was a gap for 5 days when the Kolkata police was investigating, if there is any clue that the Kolkata police has destroyed the evidences, as everybody is claiming, and there are evidences in support, then it is the duty of the investigating agency to find out the person or the offenders who has done this. That may be the Kolkata police, that may be the other officers of the health department, whoever may be the person who are involved in this destruction of evidences. That needs to be investigated. Now, if after the subsequent investigation, after this observation of the court, if CBI found that the thing is something different, then what will happen? Then, because during investigation, what the investigation authority does is they link with the incident and the offenders with the evidences. Now, if they subsequently found no, these are the evidences, actually the incident is like this, then whether this guilty, who has been found guilty today, Sanjay, whether he will take advantage of it. See, there are incidents in West Bengal who have found that the trial court has found guilty in Barashat cases, Kamduni cases. Ultimately, High Court acquitted all of them. So today we are not in a position to say absolute truth. That's the whole difficulty, because the investigation has been done half-heartedly. There need a thorough, independent investigation, so that the truth,
right?
So that truth come out.
With your expertise in not just the legal matters, but also in this particular case, you followed how this entire investigation has panned out. What would you say has delayed the entire investigation? And even at this point, given that now Sukhanto Majumdar is coming out to say that the court should order an investigative, should launch an investigation into Rajiv Kumar's angle, don't you think it's a little too late for that suggestion?
Madam, this is very unfortunate part in our country, that CBI, ED, all this investigation agency has become a tool of the ruling political party, whoever in the center. And in Bengal, the Bengal police is also has become a tool of the ruling political party of the state.
Right. Barkha Tehran also joins us. Ma'am, you're saying that you disagree. What is your stance with regards to why has there been such a delay? From the very beginning, 14 hours had passed since an FIR was filed, and even today we see so many questions, pressing questions being unanswered with regards to this case, even as Sanjay Roy has now come out to be pronounced guilty.
Justice delayed is justice denied. Since day one, everybody knows this is crystal clear case where everybody knows that the evidences were tampered. Everything was whitewashed. Why? Who did it? The only chief minister who's a woman couldn't get justice till date for the daughter of India. We are still waiting for justice. Even the one, even after the court has come with the judgment today also,
yes, the verdict,
we
yes.
are still waiting. We are still waiting because he will go for another appeal. But I demand that there should be a fair investigation. Why was there a lack in the investigation, and when will we do this investigation? How much time do we take? Why are we delaying this case? Why are we playing delay tactics every time? And then we talk about the daughters of India. Every political party only has daughters of India on their manifesto.
Right.
That they will talk about them. They will maintain law and order about them. And even after the death, so many months have passed and we are still struggling hard to get justice for this doctor.
You know, we have limited time. Mr. Ahmed and Ms. Trehan, I would want to pose this one question and a closing comment from both of you on this. If as of today, while we hear even from the judge of the court saying that, you know, death penalty is the maximum sentence in this very case, we had heard the CBI as well earlier coming out to demand death penalty for Sanjay Roy. But if indeed the investigation in itself has not begun in the right direction, how does a death penalty for Sanjay Roy alone help, ma'am? And sir, both. Mr. Ahmed, you go first, please.
So I don't think that death penalty will help anybody in the society, because ultimately this is a crime against the society. So it is our duty to ensure that these agencies acts independently, not only the investigating agency, the judiciary, as well as all authorities who are supposed to act independently, because until and unless rule of law prevails, nobody can ensure that in future days these incidents will not recur.
Right. Ma'am, Ms. Trehan, your comments on this very matter? Ma'am, I think you've muted yourself. Could you please unmute? Yes, we can hear you now. Please.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah,
CBI
we can.
Again, in the whole case, first of all, the court has to finish the trial, and then whosoever is convicted should be given life imprisonment.
And I mean, it's a little surprising that the CBI also coming out to demand a death penalty this soon into the case, wouldn't you say? What does that say about the investigation at this point?
See, once the investigation is over, once we know everything, here again there are so many loopholes. We really don't know, because Sanjay is also refusing that I am not guilty. He is naming another person. So we have to look into that also. The investigation should go on further, and then death penalty to the one who is the rapist and the murderers. Even to my knowledge, there were 3 men's semen found in the vagina. So there is further to this story.
Right. So there
is seeking death penalty is basically
Mr.
playing
Ahmed,
with the emotions
a closing
of the
remark from
people.
you. A closing remark for this hour from you. You're saying, please continue, Mr. Ahmed.
Yes. Basically, I am saying that this demanding death penalty is an eyewash, and it's a play with the emotions of the people. Everybody knows that people are at large are protesting against this incident. Therefore, the investigating agency was supposed to investigate independently and find out the culprits. Instead of doing that, they are seeking death penalty of a single accused, particularly when so many things needs to be investigated.
Mr. Ahmed, would you say you are also at this given point convinced that there were multiple culprits involved in this very matter?
Most certainly. I have gone through the records, and nobody can deny that there are multiple accused involved in this.
So then what would you say, what is stopping from the CBI from investigating that very angle? And it's been these many months.
I'll suggest that first, if they say that the evidence has been destroyed, then they first find out who are the person involved in destruction of the evidence. Let them take all of them in custody, interrogate them, and start investigation so that those persons who are initially destroyed involved in the offense, they will be those have certain nexus with the police authorities against whom the allegation is that they have destroyed the evidences. If they take these police authorities into custody, the officers in custody, then they will say who have instructed them to destroy those evidences. Then from there they can link who are the person actually involved in the incident.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one last comment.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes.
All accountable to destroy the evidences. Everybody should be behind bars. And the culprits, one or more than one, should be hanged till death.
You know, ma'am,
Yes.
while everybody at this given point has been chanting, you know, Bichar for Tilottama, or what we call justice for Tilottama, the problem here is the investigation in itself has still not taken the turn that it should have. That is the biggest question at this given point as to
Poor
why
state.
it hasn't.
Poor state of Bengal and poor chief minister. Very, very bad conduct. Mamta is not showing Mamta for this girl. Why?
Not showing Mamta for this girl. Rather crucial comment that's been made by you, Barkat Rehan. In fact, you know, there is one last question that I would want to pose for myself while the bulletin will be continued by my colleague Sudha Sadanand on the other side. Before I let you go, you know, the victim's father has claimed a very important point. He's flagged a very important point to our colleague just yesterday, that while it is an offence to release the name of the victim in the first place, the CP,
Yes.
Vineet Goyal, had done that on the very second day when he conducted a press conference. How is that
And
allowed, and how
the
has
chief
that
minister
not
as
been punished? How has he not been punished for that offence yet?
Everything is very manipulative.
You can
Mr. Ahmed,
can
I would want to take your comment first, and then Mr. Rehan, I'll give you a chance to speak as well on the same
Yes,
matter.
Okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
Not only Commissioner of Police, the Chief Minister as well. Both of them has taken name of the victim, the survivors. Therefore, both of them should be accountable for this. And this is an offence in terms of the present penal laws. Therefore, why the police as of now did not take any steps against those offenders, the investigating authority. Therefore, that shows there is some nexus with the present investigating authority, with the officers and the authorities of the state.
देखिए, कोर्ट ने कन्विक्ट किया है, लेकिन बंगाल के बहुत सारे लोगों का ऐसा मानना
तो
है
आज फैसला सुनाया
कि एक से ज़्यादा लोग की इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो सकती है। और हम भी जो पहली बार देखे तो ऐसा ही लगा था, लेकिन 5 दिन जब कलकत्ता पुलिस के पास इन्वेस्टिगेशन रहा, उस 5 दिनों में इतने छेड़छाड़ हुए सबूतों के साथ। कोर्ट में सीबीआई की जो लॉयर थे, एडवोकेट थे, उन्होंने भी वही बात रखी, एक से ज़्यादा बार रखी। तो दर्शाता है कि अगर वो छेड़छाड़ नहीं हुआ होता तो और भी कुछ हो सकता था। हम चाहेंगे कि सबसे ज़्यादा जो पनिशमेंट है वो पनिशमेंट उनको मिले। और ये आरजी कर एक ऐसा कांड है जो पूरे बंगाल में सरफेस में ले आया कि बंगाल की स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्था कितनी बुरी हालत में है।
and he's being framed. The sentencing will be done on the 20th of January, which is Monday. Of course, the Honorable Court also informed Sanjay Roy that he shall be given a chance to make his stand clear before the court on Monday, which is the 20th of January. For those who've just joined us, the lower court, the Sealdah Court in Kolkata, has found Sanjay Roy guilty in the rape and murder of the 31-year-old young doctor at the RG Kaur Medical Hospital. A very, very important day. You've been seeing rolling coverage on News9. And now let me go across to Deepak Bhadana, my colleague, for more on the matter.
So as of now, we know that the accused has been framed under sections 64, 66 and 103/1 the Bharatiya Sanhita. Now he's said again that he's just a scapegoat and that there are other people. He's named he said that even an IPS officer was involved in covering up the whole scandal. So as of now, the court has given him time. It will be on Monday that they'll hear what he has to say, and the court will also pronounce the sentence at either on Monday or at a later date. But we must understand that a lot of those questions that we've been raising over the course of the last 5 months remain unanswered. These are the questions put forth by the bereaved family. So none of that has been discussed. In fact, the prosecution has been unable to prove or establish the motives behind this murder. The family says that Abhaya was neutralized and silenced to hide a scandal. They claim that there was corruption, in the sale of expired IV fluids, because of which a number of people across Bengal have died.
Right.
There's
you know,
no conversation
Deepak,
about
I'm
this
sorry
either in
to
the court
I'm sorry
or
to
from the
interject,
prosecution.
but then considering that you've been there, at the Sealdah Court since morning, I was wondering if we can get some reactions from people, because you told me, some time ago that how the protesting doctors were there. They were raising slogans. You also showed, the flags in their hands and they were waving it. A lot of other people had also, gathered there. Remember, this horrific murder and rape of a young doctor, the civil society actually came to the streets of Kolkata. The doctors ceased work. Many people like, housewives and students and artists, actors, they were all there on the street. So therefore, I would like you to please speak to a couple of them, to ask them their first reactions on the verdict. Deepak Bhadana.
So actually, I'll say Bengal civil society is here at this very moment at outside the civil and criminal court in Sealdah. There are students here from various colleges. You've got a large number of trainee doctors from the RG Medical Hospital and College who are also here, and they're all waiting. So for now, the first step is done, but they are unsatisfied, which is what we've been hearing as we cover this event here. In this, over the course of the last couple of hours, I've had the opportunity to speak to some of the protesters who came here to witness what happens. Now, as I was saying, this case has transformed Kolkata civil society. It has awakened, a sense of civic society here, and people are much more aware and observant of what is happening around there. So there's a resolve that they're not going to let this incident go.
Absolutely,
Abhaya
that's what
will
a
not
lot
be
of
just
people
one
are saying, that this is just the beginning. Yet again, the strikes may be revived, but who knows what the doctors are feeling like. Of course, I'll go to my expert panel, but before that, let's also show you Deepak Bhadana's chat with the parents of Abhaya. Take a look and then I come back. We will go to that chat, but before that, these are the live shots on your screens right now. And, a couple of minutes ago, the Sealdah Court had pronounced Sanjay Roy, the alleged accused in the RG Court rape and murder case, as guilty. The sentencing, of course, will happen on Monday. Sanjay Roy was shouting, protesting, saying he's not the real culprit. There are lots of other people who are, and he allegedly also said that one IPS officer was involved in this entire crime. And of course, the court also informed him that he shall be given a chance to explain his stand, put forth his argument on Monday, which is the 20th of January. Live shots on your screen right now. This is a rolling coverage on News9. The horrific rape and murder of a young doctor of RG Court. Judgment day today, and now accused Sanjay Roy has been found guilty. ये लोग हैं Thoughts for those who've just joined us. Live shots coming from Sealdah Court, where you see a police officer. Sanjay Roy, the accused in the case, has been found guilty. The sentencing will happen on Monday, which is the 20th of January. Amidst tight security, of course, the verdict was supposed to be out at 2 o'clock. It got slightly delayed, but then it was delivered. Sanjay Roy was found guilty, and the quantum of punishment shall be decided on the 20th of January, which happens to be a Monday. On your screens right now, you see the accused's picture, that is Sanjay Roy, who's been now pronounced guilty by the Sealdah Court, where he said, "I'm not guilty." And on the other part of the screen, you see Kolkata, where the protest had happened for weeks and weeks, where the doctors has decided to cease work. And they were on the streets. They had given a charter of demands to the government, and they had said that the investigation should be taken to its natural course, and had also said that the police was equally culpable, considering they had botched up the entire investigation. The CBI also, in its report to the Supreme Court, had said that there were lots of anomalies so far as the investigation was concerned. The victim of this heinous crime has been named Abhaya by the people of Kolkata, which means that the one without any fear.
আপনারা যেরকম আমাদের আইডেন্টি যাতে না বেরোয় সে চেষ্টা করছেন, কিন্তু ক্যালকাটা পুলিশের সিপি যিনি বিনীত গোয়েল প্রথমেই আমার মেয়ে প্রথম দিন 9 তারিখ সকালবেলা সাংবাদিক সম্মেলন করে আমার মেয়ের নামটা বলে দিলেন। সেটা একটা শাস্তিযোগ্য অপরাধ, আজ পর্যন্ত সেই শাস্তিটাও তাকে দেওয়া হলো না।
आपके लिए एक मुश्किल समय है, पर आप मुझे बताइए आपकी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन?
এতদিন ধরে ওই একজন দোষী ধরা পড়েছে, তারই কালকে সাজা ঘোষণা হবে। এটা আমরা কোনো খুশি নই, খুশি আমি কোনোদিনই হব না, কারণ আমার একমাত্র মেয়ে, অনেক কষ্ট করে তাকে ডাক্তার বানিয়েছিলাম, সে আর নেই। এই কথাটাই আর ভাবতে পারি না, তাই খুশিও আর হব না। তবে বিচার হবে, তবে আমি মনে করি তদন্ত এখনও শুরুই হয়নি, কারণ অনেক কোশ্চেন আমার মনে, সেদিন কি হয়েছিল কিছুই আমি জানতে পারিনি এখনও। এবং যে সঞ্জয় রায়, যে আমার মেয়ের খুনি সাব্যস্ত হয়েছে, সে যে কি মোটিভে ওখানে এসেছিল, কে তাকে এনেছিল, কিছুই আমি জানতে পারিনি। তাই এই তদন্ত আরও হবে এবং আরও দোষী সামনে আসবে, এটাই আমি আশা করি।
What you just heard is the harsh and brutal reality in front of us.
All right, let me now go to the expert panel who are joining us on the broadcast right now. Barkhat Rehan, author and activist, and Nozrul Islam, former Additional Director General of Police, West Bengal. A very warm welcome to both of you. I don't want to comment on what the court has said. I would rather not. But then I can ask you, Barkhat Rehan, your first reactions to what you just heard, where Sanjay Roy has been pronounced guilty, and of course the sentencing will happen on the 20th January. Not that the case is closed. I mean, it is just begun. Barkhat Rehan.
Sudhaji, justice delayed is justice denied. We haven't yet got justice. The guilty is still saying there are more to it. There is more to it. So एक हिंदी में कहावत है, बड़ी मछली को बचा तो नहीं लिया. So there are more people involved in this case, powerful people. All the evidences had been tampered. The police has played a very bad role since the entire thing began. The murderers, the rapists were protected. Secondly, the only woman prime minister, chief minister, Mamta Didi, is not showing any Mamta. She talks about betis, she talks about women, but it is not shown in her actions. Till date, why are the culprits being hidden? Who is hiding them? There are more names.
All right.
And I've
Barkha, very
heard
strong
after
words.
the doctors.
Yeah, very strong words there. And, you know, I've been discussing this case with several people and they say many questions remain unanswered. Mr. Nazrul Islam, thank you so much for joining us. What do you think, considering you've been former Additional Director General of Police West Bengal? You know, I'm going to come to you about the role of police, but in a bit. But first, your initial reactions to what Sealdah Court has pronounced.
Sanjay Roy is an offender. He has been found guilty. I am happy. But more important offenders are yet to be put before court and found guilty. That has yet not been done. Actually, Kolkata police, when started the investigation, they tried to hush up the case. They tried to show that it was a case of suicide.
Right.
Their parents were suicide. Their parents were informed accordingly. Even in their first report, they did not mention death. They stated unconscious body. And you know, the principal was later on arrested. And the local OC also was arrested.
Right.
But the CBI did not submit charge sheet in time, so they were released on bail.
Yeah, right. But you know, Mr. Islam, when you say that there are other people that you are very happy about Sanjay, but then there are other people, but the other people, you mean those who are culpable? I mean, do I understand that you're talking about the dereliction of duty on the part of the police, Kolkata police? You're talking about how there could be culpability even in RG Kaur Hospital and College, where people like Shondeep Ghosh was there, you know, someone who was arrested and of course later let on, Mr. Mondal. Do you mean that, you know, the case right from the beginning, there was a smoke screen which was created, Mr. Islam?
Sudhaji, there is no dereliction of duty. With determination, they are trying to hush up the case. What they were doing, it was not dereliction. They were involved in hushing up the case, and some important people who are the real culprits, they were trying to shield them, and still they are behind the cover. They should be uncovered. The Kolkata police did not do, but the CBI also has not done that duty. We are frustrated about the role of the CBI in this investigation.
All right, and let me come. There are two more guests who've joined us. Dr. Shonji Bandopadhyay, Member Action Committee IMA West Bengal, and also Dr. Rohan Krishnan, Patron FIMA, who's joining us on the phone line. First up, let me go to Dr. Bandopadhyay. Dr. Bandopadhyay, your initial reaction to this Sanjay Roy being found guilty?
See, sitting on the dead body of a raped girl student, we can never be happy. As a protesting doctors, we can never be happy. But many questions remain unanswered even after this Sanjay Roy was found guilty. Why, without ascertaining the cause of death, it was declared initially to the public that it was a case of suicide? Why the body was burnt so hastily? Why the postmortem was done in an inadequate manner? Why the mother of the victim was not asked any question by CBI? We are really frustrated, as Mr. Nazrul Islam said, we are really frustrated about the role of CBI. See, Kolkata police said that Sanjay Roy was the only victim.
Right.
And even CBI now says that yes, what Kolkata police did, that is the only achievement, what we did till now. So,
all right,
what is the necessity of giving the case to CBI?
Yeah, all right. But the CBI did mention in its status report to the Supreme Court that, the investigation seems to be botched up, and then, unknown persons were involved in this to intentionally state wrong facts in the rape and murder of the 31-year-old doctor. CBI did say it, but I understand what you're saying, that in its entirety, maybe you are unhappy with the CBI, the way it conducted itself. My colleague Shriya Kundu has also joined us from the newsroom. Shriya, over to you. You wanted to ask a question to Mr. Nazrul Islam, right?
Absolutely, Sudha, and thank you for bringing me into the conversation as well. Mr. Islam, I have a very simple question to you, and this is as an extension of what Sudha was also speaking about, that is dereliction of duty. While you deny that Kolkata police did not have any dereliction of duty associated with this case, I want to pose this question to you. The parents of Tilottama has come out to say that Vineet Goyal in fact ended up releasing the identity of the victim to the press the very next day when the investigation started taking place. Would you not say that's a dereliction of duty, sir? And that is a big lapse on the police's part to not reveal the particular victim's identity.
There was surely lapse, but they were not doing the duty. So there is no question of dereliction of duty. They were committing crime. They were trying to destroy the evidence. They were trying to create evidence. They were committing crime. This destroying or creating evidence is a crime. So they were doing the criminal works. So
Mr. Islam, who is this they? If you could just mention who this they is that you're speaking of.
The Sanjay Roy himself name. Today also he mentioned. Two IPS officer name he mentioned.
While I understand that part, sir, my question is with regards to Vineet Goyal having released the name of the victim. That itself is an offence, you would agree?
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so if that has been done, why hasn't he been punished for that?
Actually,
why hasn't he been punished for that? Yes, so there is a lapse, right? That is what my colleague was also mentioning. There is a lapse in the investigation and the kind of the direction that the investigation has taken in this very case, sir. Wouldn't you say?
There is no difference what you are saying and what I am saying.
Wait a minute, sir.
Difference in terminology. You are saying that they were doing duty and there was dereliction. But I am saying they are not doing their duty at all.
That's right. But then, but if you're in uniform, Mr. Islam, if you're in uniform and I as Vineet Goyal wearing the uniform that the Indian state has given me, arrive at a crime scene and I do, like you are alleging that he was doing a crime, it can also be termed as dereliction because I'm not doing the basic duty that I wear the uniform for. Dr. Rohan Krishnan, Shriya, wait up. Let me go to Dr. Krishna.
Yeah, absolutely.
Krishnan and speak to him. Dr. Krishnan.
Sudha, I want to make a comment here. What is just now was said, I want to make a comment on that. Can I?
Please, just a minute. Barkha, I'm coming to you. Let me go to Dr. Krishnan. He's been waiting, and someone who has really also been protesting right from the day when this case came to the forefront. Dr. Krishnan, your first reaction to this? Sanjay Roy is the guilty. Sanjay Roy has been found guilty, sentencing on 20th of January. Also, the way he protested, he said, I am not the only one. I could be this, I'm adding this. I could be the scapegoat. There are more people than, myself. Dr. Krishnan.
Exactly. I feel that the entire investigation by the CBI has also quite disappointing. And because we were expecting some stories will be revealed after their investigation, which was from very beginning. This Sanjay Roy was the prime accused, but from the very beginning we were telling that we suspect that many others may be there in the part of the crime, and we have to take action accordingly. And the entire dereliction of duty from Kolkata police, which was done from the day one of the incident which happened and which led to a national movement, I think that all those goes in vain when the system is collapsed. And I feel that the system has somehow failed in this entire investigation, be it Kolkata police or the CBI.
All right, Barkha, you wanted to come in. Go ahead, Barkha. Barkha?
Investigation, we didn't get anything. because since day one, the case was hushed up and they want to give a closure report. So CBI also did say anything as elections are there. Also, there are multiple things and Mamta wants to clear her image and everything and all. And that is why but there is much more. I can 200%. I have 200% I can say there is much more to this case and there are more culprits and all the culprits should be hanged. This is the only thing which I wanted to say.
All right. Very strong words coming there from Barkhat Rehan. Dr. Bandopadhyay, let me come to you, Dr. Bandopadhyay. Dr. Bandopadhyay, there are so many missteps that actually, there are around apparently 60, list of 60 that my colleague Deepak was telling me that, that is so stark and, which is really terrible. I mean, it's actually, a lot of people are saying that not only is this justice delayed, but it's also fractured in the sense that because all these things have not been taken into consideration. Dr. Bandopadhyay, let me ask you that if I were asking you to list, what are the three main glaring anomalies that you found in this case, Doctor?
He said the first thing, without ascertaining the cause, the former principal of Arjikar Medical College declared this as a case of suicide. And police was also involved in this. This is number one. Secondly, the body was burnt hastily and in spite of repeated requests by the parents of the victims, the second postmortem was not done. This is the second point.
Right.
Third point, ma'am, that the demolition of the wall of that particular area.
Seminar hall.
Again, what we saw that the Central Forensic Report has said that it might happen that that particular seminar room might not be the occurrence of crime.
Yeah, which also they said,
there are lots of questions remain unanswered.
Absolutely.
And we don't even think, ma'am, just one point.
Sure.
I spoke to several forensic experts. They even wonder how is it possible for a particular person like Sanjay of that body stature to smother and throttle simultaneously, single-handedly, with that victim of that particular stature. It's not possible by a single person. Then why we are saying that only Sanjay Roy was the only culprit?
All right.
There must be some other person.
All right.
And we really demand that the truth should come out.
What are you planning now, Dr. Bandopadhyay? What are you planning now? I mean, we saw how you doctors came onto the streets. I mean, after this, what is your plan?
Well, see, there are several organizations who are protesting against all these odds.
Right.
So we have to sit together and we will then decide our next course of action.
All right.
But one thing I must assure that our fight will continue. We will fight till the end, until the justice comes.
All right.
Real justice comes.
All right. Mr. Nozrul Islam, let me come to you. The role of the police, because that is the most questionable apart. Of course, there are several others like Shondeep Ghosh, Mr. Mondal. All of them were found to be guilty. It seems like they were pulling a huge tent over the horrific crime which had occurred. But let me ask you, Mr. Nozrul Islam, we also saw the doctors agitating and also being in touch with the government and saying this is a list of demands. Mr. Nozrul Islam, whether it's a doctor or anybody who's serving the state, as it were, it cannot be possible unless they are in cahoots with someone right at the top, and that being the West Bengal government. Would you agree, Nozrul Islam, sir?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, right. So, the thing is that the rot is right from the top to the bottom. I mean, today the West Bengal police is under scanner. I had several other guests who said that they have always done this. They are hand in glove. This is what they do. But in this case, sir, I mean, right, if you look at the timeline, you remember that there was a protest inside Arjikar hospital. When a mob arrived, the police did nothing to control the mob. We saw how the mob picked up chairs and demolished tents. Again, of course, the most glaring thing was to announce that it's a suicide, and also the cremation, which was done in a hurry. I'm asking you, Nuzrul Islam sir, that when anybody, dies under these kind of, it's a crime, don't you think it's the duty, or rather in under the law, isn't it mandatory for someone to inform the immediate kith and kin, Mr. Islam? Mr. Islam?
After that also, as per standing order, the postmortem of murder or rape could not be done after sunset. But in this case, the